It was perhaps the one good thing people could say about Donald Trump.
I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars.
But now it's turned out that Donald Trump is just like every other American president. They love this idea of going to war, including Barack Obama, who started 3 wars while he was president. This Nobel Peace Prize winning president. They had violence, they had bombs dropped on them because of an American president. And Donald Trump, he's just like all of them. And the thing is, they are mostly fixated about the Middle East. And they don't understand the region. This is why whenever the United States goes to war in the Middle East, the result is chaos, disaster, suffering, torture, murder. It ruins lives for generations. I lived in Syria just before and during the conflict in that country, 2011, 2012. And I said at the time, if we get rid of Bashar al-Assad, this country is going to become more violent, more unstable. And that is exactly what has happened. We have sectarian violence, killing on a scale that never happened under Bashar al-Assad. And I'm not saying he was this great leader, but just getting rid of the leader of a country in the Middle East does not bring about stability and peace. It didn't happen in Syria, didn't happen in Libya, didn't happen in Iraq, and it is not going to happen in Iran. What the United States and Israel have done has made the Middle East region more unstable than it was this time last week.
There have been explosions reported over Jerusalem as Iran fires missiles at Israel, and just coming in, reports of explosions in Bahrain, reportedly targeting a US naval base.
And then you get nations like the United Kingdom and the European Union that don't have the balls to stand up to America and Israel. Rather, the United Kingdom, as an example, condemns Iran for retaliating against the violence of Israel and the United States.
I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes.
Nothing said in a form of criticism of what Israel and the US did. But this man will go on national television and condemn Iran for responding to the violence that's been perpetrated on their nation.
Over the last 2 days, Iran has launched sustained attacks across the region at countries who did not attack them.
The level of hypocrisy matches the lack of morality. These people should not be in charge of a country. The West has now become that little bit more unsafe. Our lives are a little bit more in danger than they were, which means all our leaders have failed in their number one task to protect the people of their nation. And it happens time after time after time, and it's always the Middle East. And you know what? I'm sick of this. I am old enough to remember life in the Cold War, where I grew up with this belief system, this pantomime, fairy tale belief system of Western nations were the good guys and Eastern nations were the bad guys. Good versus evil. This childish, simplistic view of the world was forced upon me from my birth. And then in 1989, when the wall came down, I was about 20 years old at that time. I just thought, this is great. All the evil, all the tension of the world, all the threat of nuclear violence has just gone. And we can look forward to a free and safe and peaceful, loving world. And that's what it was like for about 10 years. And I refuse, absolutely refuse, to be drawn back into this mindless, pathetic, childish rhetoric of the West of saying we are the good guys and some other group of people we are going to say are the bad guys. It was Russia, it still is Russia, but now we have Muslims in the Middle East. I don't buy it. I don't want it. I don't need it, and it's not true. I live in a Muslim country. I am surrounded by Muslims. I have Muslims as my friends. And I can tell you there are good Muslims and there are bad Muslims. There are Muslims who are absolutely devoted to their God and their religion. And there are some Muslims that actually, they don't really care. They might say they're religious, but they don't act it. And then there is everyone in between. In other words, just like every other nation on the globe. So no, I'm sick of it. It's enough. We don't need any more violence on this planet. God knows we've got enough bloody wars going on without Israel and the United States starting more wars. And let's not pretend this is anything other than Israel and the United States starting more wars. This is not a preemptive strike. This is a strike. This is the United States and Israel attacking a country that has done nothing to any other nation. Nothing at all. Now, you might not like the leader of Iran. You might not like what he's doing to his people. But bombing the nation, killing the guy, does not bring any peace or stability to that country, that region, or the rest of the world. We can see time and time again, every time the United States and Israel attacks a nation in the Middle East, attacks an Arab nation or a Muslim nation, nothing good ever comes from it. Nothing good for the Middle East, nothing good from the West. Enough.